Holy Roman Empire was a holy freaking mess. It was basically a pyramid scheme without the payoff. It ran for a chaotic 1,000 years between 800 and 1800 AD, the 1800s. It had a brief hiatus of a few decades as a result of a few feuds. The Holy Roman Empire has been out of action for 212 years, but what if it came back? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that loves to ponder a multitude of topics from science to history to pop culture to myth and legends. Today we are back on the what if wagon as we ask what if the Holy Roman Empire reunited. Before we get into this video, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor Skillshare. Researching and scripting a 5-minute video about the Holy Roman Empire takes some skill. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, but Skillshare helps you expand in places you want to grow. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in loads of amazing areas. They even have classes in how to be a better YouTuber. If you're into design, gaming, or you want to grow your business, there is a class for that on Skillshare. I want to specifically draw your attention to this class by Josiah Jazza Brooks, a popular YouTuber with over 3 million subscribers. He's created a class on how to stand out and make money on YouTube. He goes through things like thumbnails, titles, how best to collaborate, finding your audience, dealing with AdSense. Basically, it's great. Skillshare is really affordable with an annual subscription of less than $10 a month. Premium membership can get you unlimited access to classes from experts in different fields. So, on the one hand, you can be learning about YouTube best practices, but you can also be learning how to design your own game or make a clay pot from scratch. Right now, we have a 2-month free trial for people signing up using our link. It's down there in the description box, so be sure to check it out. Once again, guys, we want to make sure that you check out Skillshare. With 2 months for free using our link, that is 60 days of free learning for you. Imagine what you could achieve in that time. Before we get into this question, I want to ask you guys where you're from in the world. Is it a big country or a small country? If it's a big country, do you think you're more proud of your city or state than you are your country as a whole? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Honestly, I can't wait to read them. Also, while you're down there, why don't you like and share this video, and also check out the names of the people who put time and energy into this video in the description box. Stick around to the end of the vid where I'll be reading out comments from a previous one. Okay, so the Holy Roman Empire was in theory a unified state, but in actuality it was a total scattered diagram of territories. It includes much of what is modern-day Germany, Switzerland, the Czech Republic, most of Belgium, Austria, Slovenia, the Netherlands, and some parts of other countries, notably the north of Italy and the east of France.
Ça c'est très bien. Voilà qui est bien. C'est du chuchotage.
Except all of the countries I just listed were divided up further into various kingdoms and territories. Honestly, it was a bit of a headache. The Holy Roman Empire was supposed to be ruled by a Holy Roman Emperor, and it was, kind of, except they didn't really have much specific governing power. The empire was a vast feudal system with a series of powerful lords and smaller kings with their own powers across different territories. In the Holy Roman Empire, there were over 100 feudal land deals and 300 imperial states, and no real sense of centralized power. There also wasn't a capital city. It kept on shifting depending on who was in charge. It was a mess. And it was at a time that most of the empire was Catholic and agreed on religion. Nowadays, if the empire was back in action, then it would be even further divided than it was back then, as now only 58% would be Christians and 45% Catholic. The rest would be mainly atheists and around 3 to 4% Muslims. One of the issues back in the day was national pride. While there was a central flag for the Holy Roman Empire, there wasn't a real sense of national pride. But let's play pretend for a second, shall we, and say that the country reformed again and all was hunky-dory-ish. Well, firstly, the population would have increased over tenfold to 215 million, making it the 4th largest in the world and the 3rd largest economy. I wonder if the flag would be revived or if the empire would create a new one. Also, I wonder what the passports would look like. I love a coloured passport. Perhaps the country would need some rebranding, as the word empire is a pretty dirty one these days. Whatever the marketing, there would be a new world superpower on the map, and Russia, amongst perhaps others, would be threatened by such a strong force so close to home. Okay, so we've dipped a toe in political waters. Things have definitely changed since 1806, and no one is gonna take a country seriously without a capital city and a central business hub. This would likely be somewhere in Bavaria, most likely Munich. When the Holy Roman Empire was on the go, it was comprised mostly of German people, closely followed by Italian and Australian and then French, then a whole bunch more. The issue with reunification would be language. Would everyone be forced to speak just one, and which would it be? This would likely anger people and, of course, splitting Italy and France in half and segregating parts of places that have been countries for hundreds of years would be a total mess. Politically, reunification would be a mess. It simply couldn't go back to a feudal system. Europe is now a hub for business and innovation, not landowners and peasants. During the original Holy Roman Empire years, there was a lot of squabbling and actual fighting, including the 30 Years' War, in which 25% of the population of the HRE were killed. This kind of border change and enforced religious state could and would cause chaos today. Sure, the Empire could be a new world superpower, but for how long? I think the majority of those in the former HRE territory are pretty happy to leave the Empire in the past. Honestly, the topic of the Holy Roman Empire is so vast and complex and includes so many territories that we could talk about it for hours and hours and hours. We've kept it brief and the answer is basically Europe in chaos, but we could go on for hours more. As with every answer here at Life's Biggest Questions, there's always much more to discuss, so we would encourage doing so in the comments section down below and by continuing to read around the topic. If you'd like more specific areas of this answer, then maybe we can make different parts for you. What do you think would happen if the Holy Roman Empire reformed? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to let me know where you are from and if you find your city or state more important to you than your country. Before we leave, I'm just gonna read some comments from one of my most recent videos, the Can We Live on Titan video. Baraturk Race said, Titan will be Earth when the star becomes a red giant star. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but like, what about the water issue? The water issue. Duran said there is a correlation between crime and the moon's phase. Apparently crime peaks during the full moon. Honestly, I feel a bit crazy during a full moon, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's all that gravity. Daniel P said, Rebecca Felgate, I love ya. You sound and are so smart. Great video. Ha! Honestly, thank you very much. I knew that British accent would take me a fair way, and also some book learning. You're too kind. Thank you very much. So guys, that is the end of the video. Don't forget to like it, share it, like it some more, like it twice. I don't know if you can do that, but why don't you try? I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.